Hey guys, welcome to the video. Salt here. Today we're going to be going over the melee weapon, the Reaper Prime. Now in this weapon series, I take a weapon, I build it out, and I test that weapon on its own merits, meaning I don't mix it with any kind of external things that would increase weapon performance. That would be things like Warframe using abilities, pets putting statuses on enemies, things like that. I just test the weapon built out by itself, and I leave it up to the viewer to make their own intelligent conclusions about adding those external things. Now, the only difference is when I do a melee video is I do add one external, and that is a pet primer, and it's because almost all melee weapons, minus a couple of types, will use a mod called Condition Overload, and Condition Overload requires you to prime for it, and to show a build without Condition Overload functioning would be a little bit disingenuous, and that's why I add one external when I do a melee video. So, alrighty, I think that's about it for the spiel there. We can get into our little bat cave that we built here. I want to give a little shout out to a commenter on the last video, Pony Chad. He was like, hey, your little bat cave is a little bit too claustrophobic. And you know what? I agreed with him. So I deleted everything and I redid it. And it should be a little bit less claustrophobic now from last time. Alrighty, so we have the top commenter of the last video, Theo Marzona, 7421. The first commenter of the last video, Montero U. And the recent supporters of Toxic Sneeze, Johnny and Eddie. Thank you so much for your support. And if we look here, we're going to be doing the Reaper Prime today. Unfortunately, I did not have written down who is the first person to suggest for me to do the Reaper Prime. So I apologize if you were the first person to suggest that. I know there were a lot of people that wanted to see the Reaper. There's also a lot of people that want to see the Tenant Exec. So expect a video on the Tenant Exec probably sometime this week as well. So, yeah, this is the new room we're going to be doing our content in. Well, at least the start of our videos, I should say. So, I think it looks pretty good. You know, I still have some work to do. I want to kind of get a rug for the middle here. I need to find something to put in this corner. We have our new intern that is working for us, our little Grenier, Andy. I actually built him a room as well. So, you know, this is the room we're going to be starting our content in. The rest of our back rooms is pretty empty for now. I have to actually, like, decorate that. But I'll show you Andy's room. He should be very thankful. He got his own little bedroom now. So here we go. Andy's got a bedroom down here. He's got a mattress. He's got his little food tray. You know, he's got a jug to drink from, a mop and bucket if he needs to clean. And he's got a little stuffed animal that he does things to. So that's Andy's little room there. And eventually we'll decorate the rest of this place. It's kind of, you know, boring other than those two areas. So I think that's about it. Another thing I wanted to mention is that we did hit 4,000 subscribers last night. I'm extremely thankful. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, guys. I did not think that in a year I would... it is almost exactly 1 year. I started on January 1st last year. Or this year, I guess, is still technically 2024. So I started on January 1st. And in almost exactly 1 year, I hit 4,000 subscribers. I am extremely thankful. I thought in the first year, it was just going to be me being a crazy person, making videos for myself that only I was going to watch. So thank you so much. I'm going to do a subscriber, like a 4,000 subscriber special tomorrow. I am not 100% sure on what I'm going to do yet. I think I'm going to do another Q&A. Like I did that, I think at either 500 or 1,000 subscribers, but I just want to do another, like an updated Q&A about myself. And so if you have any questions for me, whether it's a personal thing, an in-game thing, it could be anything, just go ahead and ask it in the comments of this video and I'll answer it in the video tomorrow. Yeah, I think that'll be a pretty decent subscriber special for tomorrow. I might add or take away certain things. I don't know. I'm not really set on anything yet, but I think that sounds like a good idea for tomorrow. All right, enough of me running my mouth. Let's get to the Reaper Prime here. It's what people came for. This is what people came for. So the Reaper Prime is a scythe, and it is the highest crit chance of all scythes. It is tied for the highest crit damage of all scythes, and it's tied for the highest attack speed of all scythes. And everything I just said would be true if it wasn't for Incarnans. Unfortunately, Incarnans have kind of power crept some of these really good weapons. And now the hate is not just tied anymore with this weapon. It's actually better because a lot of the Incarnate evolutions do make it better in crit chance, crit damage, and things like that. And so, unfortunately, Reaper Prime does kind of get stuck in the number 2 spot, maybe even the number 3 now, because we have the Harmony as well, which is a new weapon. So, you know, this is kind of like stuck in the number 2 or the number 3 spot. To be fair, though, it's still an amazing weapon, and if you don't have access to the Harmony or the Hate and Karnan version, the Reaper Prime is still a pretty beastly weapon. So, you know, don't sleep on this thing, but unfortunately it just does get beat out by certain specific weapons. Okay. Okay, so we have the build here. Now, if you watch a lot of my videos, especially with melee videos, you know that this build is not very special. It's pretty much a basic melee build, and it's because the Reaper Prime doesn't really have any unique like traits about it. It's a pretty basic weapon. That being said, you know, the base stats of it are still really powerful. It has a above average attack speed. It has an above average range. 2.8 is pretty damn good. You know, it's got a good starting crit chance, got a good starting crit multiplier, it's got an okay starting status chance. So, like, it's a good weapon. It just doesn't have unique things that make it, like, special like some other sites. So, okay, let's go into the mods here. And we're going to start with Voltaic Strike. This is going to be our 60/60 electric mod. I'm going to skip ahead to our arcane because it's going to be why we're using this electric mod, and that is going to be for melee influence. On a melee electricity status, 20% chance for elemental melee status effects to apply to enemies within 20 meters for 18 seconds. This is a very powerful arcane, very hard for other arcanes to even come close to beating this, and that's why we're using melee influence still on our builds, even with the new arcanes that came out. So, but to activate melee influence, you're going to need to have electric somewhere, and that's why we use Voltaic Strike here. Next slot, we're going to have Galvanized Steel for 110 crit chance and 120 crit damage. Organ Shatter is going to be for 90 crit damage. Gladiator Might is going to be for 60 crit damage and 120 crit chance. Next, we're going to have Condition Overload. Is going to be for 80% melee damage per status type affecting the target. With our new Dirige build, we are getting, it's about 9 almost guaranteed statuses all the time. I think 1 or 2 of the statuses like are not always guaranteed, but let's just say like 8 to 9 most of the time, and then Momentous Bond could also increase it further. So, you know, you could do the math there, like 8 to 9 times 80. That's a crap load of flat damage that we're going to be getting out of Condition Overload, and that's just using a Dirige primer. And not even like priming ourselves. You know, if you wanted to also add like an Epitaph in your secondary slot to like also do some extra priming, you know, you could kind of boost it up even further. All right, we have Berserker Fury. This is going to be giving us 70% attack speed. Something I wanted to mention about this slot, and it comes down to the Reaper Prime's like above average attack speed, is you could also maybe for your attack speed mod consider Vice. So, Vice is only 30 attack speed. Berserker Fury is 70. So, like, Berserker Fury is way, like, a lot higher attack speed. But the weapon does have, like, a little bit above average attack speed already. So, like, I feel like this is an okay candidate to use Gladiator Vice instead of Berserker Fury if you really wanted to. Because with Gladiator Vice, it's only 30 attack speed, but you also get 120 crit chance out of it. So, this is a little bit more of a personal preference. You know, do you want to hit a little bit faster and maybe get more damage because of that? Do you want to hit a little bit slower, but each hit do more damage? Then Gladiator Vice is an option, so kind of up to you here. And then in the next 2 slots, we're going to have Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds. These are going to be our stacking with combo mods. So this is going to be crit 440% crit chance, and Weeping Wounds is going to be 440% status chance. In the stance slot, there are 2 scythe stances. It is Reaping Spiral and Stalking Fan. Unfortunately, you start... Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Actually, both are pretty good. But you start with the polarity for Reaping Spiral. So if you want Stalking Fan, you're either going to have to overforma like the build, or you're going to have to use a stance forma to fit it. One or the other. I will show off the stances. Everything's going to be timestamped, so if you don't really care about seeing the stances, that's fine too. But generally, Reaping Spiral, like 3 out of 4 of its attack sets are really good, and 1 is bad. And Stalking Fan, 3 out of 4 are bad, and one is good, but I really like that one good one. So that's why I use Stalking Fan. But, you know, Reaping Spiral is also pretty damn good. In the Tennokai slot, you have a couple of options here. So you can either go with Disciple's Merit. This is going to let you Tennokai the most often. Really good. And it's also consistent. Every 4 hits, you get to Tennokai. So it's kind of like, it's almost, what's the word? Expected. You can expect it more than the others. Dreamer's Wrath is a little bit more RNG, but when it does come up, you are going to get more damage out of Dreamer's Wrath. So that's kind of up to you. Reaper Prime has an okay heavy attack. It's not like an amazing heavy attack that I want to spam all the time, and that's why I actually go with Dreamer's Wrath over Disciple's Merit. The other thing I just want to always mention from here on out is I want to kind of give a shout out to my old men brothers out there. Any old men brothers out there or people that have bad reflexes, always consider Opportunity's Reach. So Opportunity's Reach gives you a whole 4 seconds to press your Tennokai button. So if you have bad reflexes like me, Opportunity's Reach can probably get you more DPS just because you're not going to be wasting your combo by pressing it too late. You also get extra range too, right? So it's not just the old man mod, like you actually do get a little bit more out of it. You get extra range. But if you're a younger dude or you have good reflexes, you will get more DPS out of either Dreamer's Wrath or Disciple's Merit. But, you know, older dudes or bad reflex people always consider Opportunity's Reach. Okay. I think that's pretty much it for the build. Again, very basic melee build. You can pretty much copy this on every melee weapon, and it's going to be good. Certain melee weapons are going to have slight differences because they might have unique properties that make them favor certain stats over others. So I think what we'll do now is we'll go to the Simulacrum, and we'll show off the movesets of both of these stances, just so you can make your own decision on what to use. Oh, I'm going to the wrong place here. I have to get used to the back rooms. I have to go to the Syndicate board, which is down here. I'm still trying to get used to everything.
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
Yeah, which Simulacrum? We'll do the Mall Rotunda. This is a new Simulacrum that came out with 1999. There's, I think, 2 new Simulacrums. I think I bought both of them. Yeah, this is the little mall Simulacrum here. I think it's kind of cool looking. It's interesting. So, okay, what do we have right now? I think I have Stalking Fan on. Let me just double check. Okay, I have Stalking Fan on. This is the one that 3 of the 4 movesets suck, but one of them is really good. So let's show off Stalking Fan here. So we're going to start with the Forward Light. This is going to be low DPS and no forced proc. So this is going to be one of the shitty movesets here. As far as the actual animation, I like it. I mean, it spins around and it hits everything. It's just low DPS and no forced procs, which kind of sucks. Okay, now we're going to do the Neutral Light, so not moving forward and holding E. This is going to, again, be low DPS, no forced proc, so another crappy moveset. I really don't like this one at all. Like, I don't even like the moveset of this one, so this is, like, not even a... It's not redeeming itself here. All right. Next moveset is the one that makes Stalking Fan like a consideration. This is an actual good moveset here. So this is average damage, average DPS, and 1 forced slash proc. So this is the forward block. So you're going to block, move forward, and hold E. So again, average damage, a force slash proc, and the animation is really good because you're actually spinning around and hitting everything, and it has movement. You know, you're not like stuck, moving super slow. So I really like this, and this is why I use Stalking Fan, is because of this particular moveset right here, because the other 3 really suck. All right, let's show off the last one just to show off all 4 of them here. So this one is going to be the neutral block. So blocking, not moving forward, and holding E. This one's going to be low DPS, no force slash procs. I don't like this one at all. There's no movement in it. Low damage, no force slash, kind of dookie. All right, let's switch over to Reaping Spiral. We'll show Reaping Spiral off. Remember, Reaping Spiral is the one that you're actually going to start with the polarity of, so you're probably going to start by using Reaping Spiral. And if you really want to use that one moveset in Stalking Fan, you could always do what I did, but let's show Reaping Spiral here. Okay. So Reaping Spiral, let's start with the forward light. This is going to be low DPS, no force slash proc. So you're not going to want to use this one. This is the one bad moveset of Reaping Spiral. Again, the animation I actually like. It spins around, it hits a lot of things. It's just low DPS and no force slash. All right, let's go ahead and show off the next one, which is going to be the neutral light. So this is not moving forward and holding E. This is high DPS and a force slash. So technically, so far, this is the highest DPS, and it has a force slash that we've seen at all. But just because, you know, the paper says it has the highest DPS, doesn't necessarily mean it's the one I'm going to want to spam. I mean, look how slow you move with this. Like, there's not any movement in it, and a lot of the attacks only hit what's directly in front of you, which I don't like. So you can't always just go by, like, what the paper says, you know, oh, high DPS and a force slash. Okay, now we have the forward block. So this is blocking, moving forward, and holding E. This is average DPS and a forced slash. I'm not a big fan of this because a lot of the moveset is hitting exactly what's in front of you, so it's not hitting a lot of things around you. So I'm not a huge fan of this one. All right, enough of that. And let's show off the last one, which is going to be the neutral blocks. This is blocking, not moving forward, and holding E. This is, again, going to be high DPS and a force slash. It's okay. So those two movesets have high DPS, but I just don't really like the animations in them. I think that actually might be the same animation as the neutral light anyway. All right. So those are both Reaping Spiral and Stalking Fan. Reaping Spiral, 3 out of 4 of the movesets do have average or high DPS and force slashes, whereas Stalking Fan is basically the opposite, but the one good moveset of Stalking Fan I really like. So that's why I am going to go with Stalking Fan personally, but, you know, make your own decision. Maybe you like the moveset of something else. That's okay. Let's go ahead and leave the simulacrum there. And now we're going to get into the gameplay. We're going to do this 10-minute Steel Path Mott. Just see how this little guy does. Make sure we're on solo. Steel Path. We're going to do our testing on Mott. I'm going to have a Dirija primer. Like I always do. On melee videos, I should say. Yes, if you have any questions for me, make sure to put them in the comments here. It'll make for good content. The only ability I might press during this run is my 3, which just gives me status immunity and armor. It doesn't affect anything with the weapon itself.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support.
I like this weapon. You know, it's a good weapon. It just doesn't have anything unique about it. And in a world where there's Incarnans and now there's like other just cool weapons that have like little effects, like the Harmony has a bunch of like little extra effects to it. Like in a world where there's either Incarnans or like extra effect melees, like it's hard for these melees that are just good stats to beat the other ones out. I mean, it's not going to be too far off, right? Like, most of our melee builds that we've done have hit about 1,100 kills, or the good ones, I should say. The good melee builds have hit about 1,100 kills in 10 minutes, so we'll see what this one hits. It's probably not going to be too far off. It'll probably be like 1,000, maybe even 1,100. I also don't have the best tile set here because it's a 2-story tile set. To be fair, melee influence kind of helps with that, though, because it'll still kill dudes up on the 2nd floor. So you get a little bit of forgiveness with melee influence on 2-floor tile sets. I think that big group of enemies is upstairs, actually. Like, I saw a big group. They were upstairs, though. Also, if you have any suggestions on what to add to my little room in the back rooms, let me know. Because I'm kind of stumped right now. I'm like, I don't know what to add in that corner. I need to buy another oubliette. So I bought an oubliette and I put it in my dojo. So I can't pull my oubliette from the dojo into the back room. So I have to buy another oubliette. So like the oubliette is going to probably go somewhere in that back area. I just don't use it super often because like I don't need to fight the glassmaker, really, for any reason. I think technically you get a ribbon, though, for it. But I think you could technically farm ribbons by fighting the glassmaker. It's just that it's expensive because you could sell those keys for like 60 plat. And with that 60 plat, you could just buy 3 ribbons, 3 veiled ribbons. So why would you get 1 ribbon? I don't know. Maybe there's like some kind of meta behind it that I'm just not aware of. Maybe it like is a specific ribbon that he drops. I don't know. I've only ever fought him, I think, twice. I know people actually farm him for some ungodly reason. Let me know. Let me know if you know. Are you a glassmaker farmer? You know, the entire time I said I use Stalking Fan because of the forward block, and I literally have not been using the forward block. I just realized that. You know, to be fair, don't worry about it. People get really stuck on like the force slashes on movesets, and it's kind of funny because like it really doesn't matter. Like, oh, this moveset has 1 force slash out of like the 6 attacks that it does. Whereas like your basic attack is still gonna do like 2 force slashes on every whack. So like 1 extra force slash is really like almost irrelevant. But there's a lot of people that like will literally base their whole gameplay around a force slash. Which I think is kind of funny. They miss the big picture. They miss the big picture. Alright, we got Mania here. Mania has the Zephyr Shield, which doesn't matter because I'm meleeing.
It is time. I will teach thee. This death is temporary. My existence is forever. I cannot be destroyed.
That's why I always tell people, just find the moveset that you like on a stance and just use that moveset. If you really want to go for like 4 slashes, that's fine. But don't base your entire like decision on a moveset just because of a 4 slash. Because like if you look at Weeping Wounds and like how much status chance it's going to give to you with 440%, and like most of your melee weapons are going to be slash heavy, like a lot of times you're basically getting 4, or not 4, but like 2 4 slashes in every whack, not even just one hit of a moveset. So like, I did finally go on and I looked it up because Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds, I like for the past few weeks, I forgot whether it was 440 or 480% critical chance and status chance, and I was like, I'm gonna look it up today so I can finally get a actual answer on that, and it's 440%, and it's because the first multiplier that were non-multiplier, right, like 1 times combo doesn't actually get factored in. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was 440, but I was like, maybe it's 480. But yeah, I mean, Weeping Wounds by itself basically gives us like over 1 4 slash proc on every basic hit, basically. And that's not even including any of the other like stat plus status chance that we have on the weapon, like with the 60-60 and other things. So don't get too like obsessed over my stance must have a 4 slash proc, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess it technically matters, but like it'll matter so little that you could do like a side-by-side run and barely tell a difference. Alright, so we'll see what this guy is at after 10 minutes. Again, really meta melee weapons have hit about 1,100 kills in 10 minutes. I'm wondering what this guy is going to be at here. I'm going to guess 1,000? Maybe it'll be a little bit under 11. Because 11 has been like the weapons that have had like unique effects or incarnins. So maybe this guy will be 1,000 kills in 10 minutes. Alright, so let's see here. Let's head to Extraction. And we'll take a gander here. Yep, 1,005 kills. So slightly under like the super meta melee weapons that we've gone over. But not that much. You know, like the difference between this and the Hate has been like less than 100 kills in 10 minutes. So, again, you know, a lot of these weapons are going to be, like, there is going to be objective differences, but they're going to be very minor. So, and of course, this is all subjective, right? This is like my own gameplay. If I was to redo this, maybe I do hit 1,100, or maybe I get, oops, what am I doing here? Maybe I get unlucky and I hit 900, right? So, it's always going to be a little bit subjective.
What you have learned here will serve you well.
Alrighty, that was the Reaper Prime. We got the Reaper Prime done and over with. I hope you guys liked it. If you liked it, consider giving it a like. If you haven't subbed yet, consider subbing or tell me what I can do to earn your sub. And remember, if you got any questions for me, any question whatsoever, I'll answer whatever. Just type them in the comments, and tomorrow during the video, I'll bring them up. I'll be like, you know, Poop Lover 69 asked, you know, like, what's your favorite dinner or something? I don't know. Just ask whatever the hell you want. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. All right, bye.